WIDR Kalamazoo.
What's up? Thanks for joining us for the weekly edition of the Western News Review, where we bring you stories from the Western Herald. Some of the stories that you may have missed, some of them that you really do need to care about, especially as they do concern you if you're a student here at Western. My name is Daniel Ebo, and today I am joined by
Kayla Lambert, Nicole Morehouse.
Great, all from the Western Herald. Kayla wasn't here last week. I don't know. Where were you?
I was at home for a doctor's appointment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling saying that like it's not true?
No, it is true. I swear. You can check my whereabouts. I have an alibi.
Have an alibi? Who's your alibi?
Yeah, my doctor.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Because then I can go ask them.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicole, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving plans?
Just to go home, spend time with family.
Where do you live?
Near Detroit.
Oh, I'm not asking for your home address, by the way. Just so you know, no personal information out there. Okay, so Detroit. All right. Yeah. How about you?
Also from near Detroit, near the Ann Arbor area.
But you're not going home, are you?
For part of it, but not the whole thing. So.
Okay. All right. And I am staying in Kalamazoo, my new home, for Thanksgiving. All right. Let's run you through the headlines for today, and then we'll get into the stories. Today we're doing a story on a grant that's been awarded to the College of Engineering, a whopping $2.5 million. Biden choppable dollars. Anyway, prepare for financial success. I will tell you about how to manage your finances and then spending. There's also a story on celebrating first generation students and alumni. And of course, there's some stories on research. The earlier one, like I said, was the grant, 2.5 million grant. But there's also another one about a student who is doing research about neurodiversity in occupational therapy. We'll tell you more about that. The Western Students Association has approved some funds towards Formula SAE WMU. Who are they? What are they doing? You'll find out pretty shortly. And then yours truly, WIDRFM, has won some accolades, awards, and we'll run you through those stories. So these are the top headlines for today. Let's dive into the stories themselves. Welcome to the Western News Review. Kayla, I'll take us through the first story. I didn't know who was going to take it. Kayla, let's go.
Yeah, so Western Michigan University's College of Engineering and Applied Sciences received a $2.5 million grant from the U.S. Department of Energy for their research on reducing the carbon footprint associated with paper production. So their goal is to use special solvents to reduce carbon output and save energy for treating wood chips before they go through the usual chemical pulping process that makes paper.
Awesome. And so I was going to ask what the grant was for, but I think you kind of did touch on that. But what could be the potential benefits of this? What is to gain from this project?
I think overall the goal is to be more sustainable, particularly within the College of Engineering. The paper making process is kind of like known to be not necessarily super sustainable. So I think this is their way of trying to make that a little bit more of an eco-friendly process.
That's great. And can you tell us who are involved in this project?
Yeah. So Priyanka Sharma is a departmental researcher on the project and also an assistant professor of chemical and paper engineering. The team is led by Mert Atalan. I'm sorry if I am butchering that name. And Kicheng Lee. And then other researchers include, and I apologize again, Saeed Abukar and Abdus Salam. So they're kind of the ones leading this whole project.
Okay. And again, how much money is involved?
$2.5 million.
Wow. That's a lot. I hear that they intend to hire some students. Do you know when that is?
It looks like, according to the story, students are to be hired for the team in January, and the grant will run through October of 2026.
Okay, that's great. So look out for announcement about hiring, especially once we enter January. Cost 2.5 million, and that's some money that is going into some pretty good work, especially looking at Western's emphasis on sustainability, which we've also hammered on this podcast a couple of times as well. So that's it about the $2.5 million. That's really impressive, that much money going into research. Congratulations to the team, and we look forward to the outcome of the project. Let's now talk about finances. We've been talking about finances, but let's talk about one that concerns you personally. Nicole, take us.
Yeah, so on November 6th, the Sanford Center for Financial Planning and Wellness hosted a seminar in Waldo Library about just credit and debt management, giving students tips on understanding how credit works and just how to be smart about finances.
And how does this person describe the idea of borrowing?
So anytime you borrow money, you're just kind of taking it from the future. You're just going to have to pay it back later. It's putting the burden on your future self. So he says that it's important to remember that it's not just, getting money. You're just taking the burden and
it's
pushing
not really
it back
free
a
money.
little. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just postponing payment. It's not like you're actually free from it. And do we know anything about credit scores? I know they said a lot of things about credit scores and whatnot. What are some of the things they said about that?
Yeah, so credit scores range from 300 to 850. A score above 650 is considered good, and there are a ton of ways to make your credit score go up or down. A big part of building a credit score is just, borrowing money and repaying those payments, and the important part is repaying that money on time. Don't pay the minimum balances on credit bills.
So basically pay when you borrow.
Yes.
Credit card if you want to keep your scores up.
Borrow money,
plan
but
in mind.
pay it back.
You have a
Be
plan
smart
in mind.
about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean?
No,
You should have a plan. Do you have a plan in mind?
I hope I do.
All right, so that's about spending. But any tips on spending practices? Any of you for our listeners?
The big thing is just know what you're doing. Know why you want a credit card and what you're doing with it. It's easy to get a credit card and then you don't see the money going away, so you just keep using it. But that's not how it works.
It's not your money for real.
Yeah. One thing that he mentioned is if you use 30% or less of your card's limit, then your credit score will go up a lot faster. So also keeping in mind of how much of that limit you're using is a good thing to know.
Wow. Now I'm thinking back on my spending practices.
It hurts.
It does. Oh, interesting. Okay, so basically spend wisely, and then also don't get a credit card if you don't have a plan for it.
Yes.
For paying back and all that.
That goes for any loan, not just a credit card.
Yeah.
But
Really, any money you spend, spend wisely. Think about it before you do it, which is really, really unfortunate. Because I love to spend money.
Yeah,
So.
no one likes to pay money, but we like to spend,
Yeah. And he talks about a couple different kinds of credit cards. There's secure credit cards that I didn't know were a thing before this. It's basically a credit card where you pay a collateral when you get the card, which is usually the same amount of the credit card's limit. And it's just in case you don't pay your bill, then they already have.
They have that money.
They have the payment, yeah. And that's typically for people with low or no credit to help build credit, and it's easier to get approved for those because they have the collateral to kind of fall back on. But
Well, that's a great idea. I'm just thinking on, someone who needs a credit card probably does not have that much money if they need a credit card. So how do you get an amount that is the same as what you're going to get on the credit card? If you had that money, you'd keep it to yourself, wouldn't you? So, but collateral may not necessarily also mean that it has to be from. It might be from a guarantor or, someone they can trust to retrieve that money from. So, that makes sense to the extent that it also helps to keep you in check, knowing that you have certain assets committed to the credit card company. You spend wisely. Yeah. interesting discussions on finances, and I'm sure people who want to find more should look up the Western Herald article on that. There's a lot that the experts said, and so this article, well written, gives you all the details. Make sure to do that. We'll come to first generation students, and I'll quickly run you through the story, and then come to Kayla and Nicole for their thoughts on that. But it's headline: WMU celebrates first generation students and alumni. And then this story, written beautifully by Eli, who isn't here. Shout out to Eli. Hope to see you after the Thanksgiving break. The story essentially says that WMU Alumni Association and University Advancement hosted an event to celebrate National First Generation Day sometime last week, and essentially they try to recognize students who are the first generation student is a student who is the first in their family to go to school, right?
Yeah, that's my understanding of it. Yeah,
that's okay. So to essentially honor their achievements, but maybe let me come to you. We will get into the details of the story, but what is the point of having such celebrations?
I think the point is to celebrate those who kind of are coming from a place where they might not have, they don't have the resources like family members who were, going through the same thing. I know my dad, he gives me a lot of advice, support, all of that kind of stuff. And so he was a college student himself. So I think celebrating the fact that those people, don't necessarily have those resources all the time, and celebrating the fact that they are still succeeding.
Great. And I'm glad you bring in the example of your dad, who is, if your parent is, someone who went to college, then they have certain perspectives that they're able to share with you, as opposed to people whose parents have not. Then, sometimes they have to find certain information out on their own, which they could have gotten if they had, if their parents went to college. So these are sometimes the pros and cons of that, and to celebrate these people who have put through all the barriers that were, before them and still get a college education. It's really impressive. But they do also mention the statistics of first generation student at Western, and according to the speaker, there's an estimated 26% of WMU students who identify as first generation students. So almost 1/4, I guess. Yeah, 1/4 of the student population as people who are the first of their families to get a college education, and that's quite a number. If you consider the thousands of students that are Western, it tells you there's a lot of people who are having to deal with that. But Nicole, maybe your thoughts on what avenues of support can be given to these people.
Yeah, so I know TRIO is a big one that I hear a lot from, just from first generation students that I personally know. The College Assistant Migrant Program, or CAMP, is a federally funded program through TRIO. And then the College of Education Human Development provides scholarships for undergraduate students who are first generation college students and their family. And yeah, all those.
So scholarships mainly, but aside these ones that have been mentioned that Nicole rightly talks about, Kayla, any thoughts on outside of the financial support in terms of scholarship? What else can we be doing for these people?
I think just recognizing, and if you know someone who has questions about, scholarships, or even just how to register for classes and stuff like that, just be mindful that they may not have those resources, such as parents or, people that they know who previously went to college. So just be open-minded about helping people, and understand that not everyone has the privilege of, having previous experience with the college lifestyle.
That's a great point. And so be kind to such people, and then make sure that if they need advice, especially, and college life can be, pretty confusing, especially when you're just coming in. At least when you're in your second or third years, then it's you kind of acclimatize to the environment. But once you're, let's say, a freshman who just came, wait, is it freshman or junior? I'm still confused about the system here.
Freshman is first year.
Freshman.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's a junior?
Third year.
Oh.
I am a junior.
And who's a senior? Fourth year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fourth year
And
and above.
where do second years fall?
Sophomore.
So confused. Okay. I'll use years: first year, second year, third year, fourth years. Just so I don't mix them up. But essentially, if you're first year who's just entering college, then usually oriented, finding your way around campus, like Kayla said, registrations and all that, where to go to get certain resources can be a bit confusing and challenging. And so you always have to look out for such people, offer directions if you can, and or point them to people who can give them directions as well. So aside the finances, advice is also very important. All right. Let's talk about research now. There is a story about some research work going on at Western. Kayla.
Yeah, so senior Haley Munson is doing a Lee Honors College thesis on occupational therapy and neurodiversity, kind of focusing on how to honor neurodiversity as an occupational therapist. That's actually the title of her thesis. And so, yeah, it's just kind of a focus on how to assist those who are neurodivergent, and especially within the world of occupational therapy.
Okay, so we know neurodiversity and in occupational therapy, but what inspired this person to pursue this topic? Did they say?
Yeah, so her little brother had severe ADHD and sensory process disorder when he was younger, and she said that she got to go to a lot of his OT appointments, his occupational therapy appointments, and that kind of inspired her to take a look at that in a research perspective, and learn a little bit more about it.
Wow, that's an inspiring topic, and most research is often sometimes it's driven by people's, personal experiences, and I see why the student did that. What is the aim really of this particular research? Yeah,
so to answer the thesis question of how occupational therapists can implement strategies and work with neurodiversity, Munson interviewed current occupational therapists to see how they implement strategies into their day-to-day to honor and include neurodiverse clients, and then to learn these different strategies and possibly implement them into her future career throughout these interviews.
Yeah. And I know she mentions something about, people shying away from research, or, just hearing the name thesis and freaking out, like this major thing. What are some other things they said about that?
Yeah, so she kind of talked about how a lot of times people, like you just said, see the word thesis or see the word research and kind of get overwhelmed.
Like myself.
Yeah, me too. But she said that this kind of experience is like kind of incredibly invaluable, and it really showed her, it gave her real world connections. I apologize. And it gave her a better holistic sense of occupational therapy. And so, yeah, I think that was kind of like her stress is like, don't be scared of research and the kind of work that sounds really big and scary, but in reality is quite, I'm trying to find the right word, but I want to say it's not easy, but I would say it's valuable. So
Nicole's looking like you like, is it easy?
Yeah.
You think it's easy?
No, absolutely not.
Do you like research?
No.
No one likes research? I mean, I like research if it's not... Honestly, I mean, if we're being honest here, I would do academic research, all right, but it's not something I really...
Yeah.
I love research outside of academia. I would research anything. If I'm doing a story, for instance, you want to find out, that's research, right?
Yeah, but, I agree. I love learning. I like talking to people, like finding out what's going on.
And that's research too.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that people don't realize is like research takes place in a lot of different forms.
True.
And so like a lot of people think of sitting down and writing like a 30-page paper, and it's like, oh yeah, that doesn't sound like fun, but it can take a lot of different forms.
Yeah, I mean, if someone tells you the President Montgomery said something and you're not sure if it's true, and so you go up to, for instance, the Western Herald website to check and see if that is true. That's you researching, trying to find out if that information is true, fact checking if you want. And that's research too. And most people find academic research boring. I've had people, on the other hand, who find it very exciting. Just 2 days ago, I was having a conversation with a professor, and she was so excited about research. Like, she tells me, I love it. I have passion for it. And in my head, I'm like, nah, not me. So it can be rewarding, and I appreciate the thoughts of this student on, how these things sometimes seem like they're too big, too difficult, but in reality, it's very, very valuable. It's something that a lot of people should maybe cultivate a habit of enjoying more, and who knows, I might start doing that. I do research, but I might start actually enjoying what I do. All right, but what are the next steps for this project? What does she intend to do next?
Yeah, so she intends on kind of implementing this into her education. She wants to continue to the doctoral level and believes that this will help further herself outside of higher education, kind of bringing it into, the occupational therapy world for her, but then also into the research world as well.
Great. And we know she'll be defending her thesis in front of the Honors College. We wish her all the very best in that. We can't wait to know of the outcome of that research. I think the research will be available for viewing on LHC website after completion. LHC is Lee Honors College. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if you want to know what the student found out Monson, make sure to look out in the coming days for that on the website for the thesis and its outcome. Thank you so much, Kayla. Now let's come back to the money. We've been talking about money a lot today, grants and research work and all that. WSA has approved certain funds for a group of students. I'll give you a quick rundown of the story, and then we'll get into specifics of what the funds are for, how much money is involved, and whatnot. This story is written by Amelia Bodinaku. I hope I got the name right. And it's captioned WSA approved sustainability grant funds towards Formula SAE WMU. And it goes on to talk about, it comes with a picture of Samuel Longlet. I haven't heard his name in a while, the WSA speaker. But essentially, the Western Students Association voted to grant support for the use of student sustainability grants to fund Formula Society of Automotive Engineers. WMU FSAE electric vehicle projects. And so the FSAE is a registered student organization that designs, builds, and races a formal style vehicle every year. That's impressive. I didn't know people were building cars here at WMU. Did you know? People are making cars here?
I think I've seen the car before. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was in the Bernhard Center for a little while.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I know. I think over at the College of Engineering, I've seen like some happening. They have like this big like workshop.
Wow.
I think it's a car. I've seen them building something. What are they building there?
What if it's
Probably
it's an atomic bomb? Anyways,
No, I don't think
it's
so.
a car. Oh, yeah. But for this particular one, we do know it's a car. Yeah, not a bomb. Anyways, so these students have been building cars for some time now. But any one of you can give me information about what these funds that they are requesting for they requested from the WSS for.
Yeah, so they requested about $29,000, and they are in the process of designing and racing 2 vehicles, and they're currently working on their first ever electric vehicle.
And so $29,000, and what makes this project unique? So we know it's an electric vehicle, but anything different from what they've done previously?
I think this is the first time that they're doing an electric vehicle, correct?
Yes.
So I think that's definitely newer for them. And additionally, they said that they are looking to kind of include sustainability in their use of the funds. So I think that's also kind of newer for them as well.
So the material being used and all of that, just so we're looking at something that's not polluting the environment. And a lot of people think that when it comes to, for instance, in the fight against climate change or, global warming, it's best, and that's what a lot of countries are aiming for. I know the United States is doing that as well, where by a certain year we should have fuel-less cars, fuel cars out of the system, and then we can all use. I think electric cars are safe. I don't know if you've heard any of that rhetoric where it's like burning fuel is damaging the environment, so let's aim for electric vehicles instead. So that's a lot of argument in favor of that. And some people have also said that, well, electric vehicles do use certain materials that also, harm the environment. So to that extent, they use batteries, right? And batteries also, how batteries are made as, proven to be one of the most damaging things to the environment as well. I mean, there's all these sides to the argument, but you can't deny the fact that also electric vehicles are a more preferred type of cars when it comes to environmental conditions. And so I guess that's where the idea of sustainability is coming from in terms of this project. One other unique thing that I found out was the idea of them building this from, they said previously they used to use old cars, parts from old cars to build their material, but now they're starting everything from scratch, right? So they are making their own stuff, metal, something about steel and everything. Let me see if I can get you that story quickly. But they're also saying that they are pledging to give their best efforts to provide the car and all sustainable assets to promote enrollment and sustainability at WMU. So good luck to them. I'm really impressed that students here are doing that much. I know WMU is, when it comes to the College of Aviation and all that, we are one of the best in the country. So I know these students are under good supervision, and congratulations to them. Yes, so that's it from Formula SAE WMU. I would like to see the car. I don't know when they're going to get it done by, but yeah, we're rooting for you, and I would like to test drive that car. We'll end on the note of WIDRFM, our very own Nicole.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, WIDR, radio station we're on right now, won a few Pinnacle Awards. They won 2 awards and then 2 honorable mentions. So one of the awards was from WIDR General Manager Kayla Cooper for his show Kazoo Food, which is produced by Ryan Misiak?
Yeah, Ryan Misiak, who is also the producer of this show.
Yes,
so that should tell you that hopefully we are going to win an award too.
And yeah, so they won first place in Best Audio/Talk Entertainment Program. And then WIDR won a 3rd place award by video editor Lucy Grip and Sean Burke for WIDR's new logo and Best Video Promo PSA. And then a couple honorable mentions went out again to Kayla Cooper and Ryan Misiak for Best Audio Special Event Coverage, as well as Broadcast Station Website of the Year for Promotion Director Sydney Cott.
Wow. Congratulations to all these folks, and Ryan is really doing a good job, as well as Kali as well, Lucy, and all of you that have won awards. Congratulations really to you. We're going to have Ryan on the show one of these days, to get to, he's always doing the background job. Yeah, he's always doing the background work and all that. You don't get to hear from Ryan a lot, but one of these days after Thanksgiving, hopefully we'll have him here to find out who Ryan is and what he's been up to, the man behind the personality behind the man. Okay, I don't know how that saying goes, but basically we'll find out more about him and talk to them. But congratulations to the WIDR team. I know the Western Herald also won an award recently, I think in the spring, if I remember correctly, and we spoke about that on this show
Yep. In the
as
spring,
well.
we had a few members win
Mhm.
MPA awards or
Yeah.
in a few honorable mentions.
Yeah, great. Oh yeah, I remember you were one of those.
I did get an honorable
So
mention.
humble. Why didn't you mention that?
I don't know. I did in the spring.
Yeah, so yeah, we have award-winning journalists on our show here. So anyways, that's it for today's headlines. We've been looking at WIDR's awards. We've also looked at WSA approving certain funds for the building of an electric vehicle. Some students work in occupational therapy, and then WMU also celebrating first generation students, financial success, how you should go about that. And we started on the note of some $2.5 million grant awarded to the College of Engineering for research. Yes. Plans for the weekend?
Homework. I say this every week. It's always homework.
Such a boring life.
I know.
Ouch.
I thought you were going to say, Friday night or Saturday night, I'm going out, with my friends. Homework.
Homework.
You too?
Yeah.
Oh. Sad.
Sorry, we're so boring.
Yeah.
Do you have plans for the weekend?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
say homework.
Oh, wait, no, not homework. Actually, I know this is going to come out on Monday, but I'll be DJing an event for the Bronco African Students Association. They're having an African night. Actually, you're all invited.
Aw.
It's tomorrow night, 6 to 11 p.m. I'll be playing music for them,
Cool.
So it's my first DJ gig.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I've been playing music on radio. I haven't actually gone to an event to play music for them. So there's that. So that's my plan for the weekend. And for Thanksgiving, I think I'll get something interesting going on. But yeah, we wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. We don't come your way next week because of the Thanksgiving break, but the week after that, you certainly hear from us. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Any shout outs before we go? It's going to be a week before we're back. Yeah.
I can't think of any.
Wow.
I know. Shout out
your
to
friends should be mad.
Shout out to Mads. We love you, Mads. The last spread was beautiful.
I agree. I feel like we've given shout outs to the same people every week.
Yeah.
They really deserve it.
Yeah, I'll shout out to you all. To Eli, to Corey, to Ryan, to who else? Yeah, to all the team at Western Herald and then at WIDRFM. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Bye-bye.